trying to get out. We'll play it by ear.
Go ahead and start.
Yeah, we should start at 5:30.
'Cause it starts televising at 5:30.
I'd like to welcome you to the June 19th West Des Moines City Council meeting. Please join us for a Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, let's have council sign in.
We have 3 members present.
Do we have anybody online, Ryan, at this point?
No, I see Renee has just called me while we were doing the pledge, so I don't know if you want me to call her back or.
We'll keep moving. If you want to maybe call her back, we can kind of work through some of these other items here.
Sure.
Before we do that, Ryan, were there any changes to the agenda?
There is one change to the agenda. Item 4G, purchase of server storage solutions, has been removed from the agenda. Anticipated we'll bring it back at a future meeting.
Okay. All right, can we have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. Second.
Okay, please vote.
Three yes.
Okay, item 2 is citizen forum, which is a time for anybody here in the audience that would like to address the council on any item that is not under public hearings or not an item under new business. If anybody would like to come forward, please come up, give your name and address for the record, and limit your comments to 5 minutes. Thank you. And if there's anybody online, it's star 6 to unmute. Now would be the time for any citizens that would like to speak during citizens forum. Seeing no activity, we'll close the public forum and we'll move on to the mayor, city council reports. Item 3, we'll start with Kevin.
Nothing this time.
Okay. I have nothing at this time. Greg?
Oh, just one item. There's a new disc golf course over at Valley Southwoods, right over there, just near Valley Southwoods and Southwoods Park. They just put up some baskets. So once the sun sets, well, not once the sun sets, but once it gets a little bit cooler, you can go out and throw a disc. It's really exciting. So thanks to the Parks and Rec Department for making that a reality, and also lots of volunteers. So, and other than that, nothing further, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you, Greg. Tom?
No report, Your Honor.
All right. We'll move on to item 4. Item 4 is a consent agenda. Does any council member have any items they need to pull?
4R.
We've got 4R. I also would like to pull 4H. And I believe we are also pulling,
And pull, yeah, if you could pull 4U2, please.
for U2 and for U3.
Move the remainder.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor, please vote. All right. So let's start with 4R.
3 yes on that vote.
I'm sorry. Thank you.
You're fine.
All right, let's start with 4R. It's a motion for approval to initiate an agreement with the acquisition of property located at 1900 Ashworth Road reconstruction, 19th Street to 23rd Street. Kevin?
Yeah, I am not in favor of this. I don't know that it's justified. I've talked with some of the residents in the area. They are not supportive of it, and I just don't think it's going to have worth the, at this point, $500,000 plus, and then that's not even the construction of the small drainage basin, or detention basin. So for that matter, I am not going to support this.
Okay. Thank you.
I would invite Brian Hemeseth up here and just had a couple of clarifying questions on this particular resolution 4R. So the proposal is to acquire this property, and according to the agenda, it's $500,000 to $550,000. And can we go through just the total costs of what it would be when it comes to not just the acquisition, but also demolition, when it comes to the actual construction of that? Could you share more about that, Brian?
Sure, Brian Hemesat, city engineer. We have done an appraisal on the house, and then we also have some costs to help them move. There's not relocation costs because it's a voluntary acquisition. So I believe those are in the range of about 500 to around 500,000. There's also a cost to either demoing or moving the house after the fact. And we estimated that around, I believe, around 50,000. And then we have about 100,000 of work in the detention pond itself.
All right, so with all the costs together up, we might be up to
Around
700.
650, 700,000.
Okay. And so a second question for that is, are there other opportunities for retention ponds potentially elsewhere to help stormwater mitigation in the future, or is this the best spot?
Well, as far as this project goes,
Sure.
because of the fact that we're already acquiring a pretty significant amount of property from this particular address, and the fact that the topography lends itself well for this one to be a good spot for detention, there's a lot of things aligning for this one to be a good spot for that. Now, are there other locations for detention? Yes, there are. But it's very difficult to find areas like that because a lot of them have houses on them. We have some open areas, but they might be where a school is, and we'd have to take up a playground, and that's not popular. So it's very difficult to get any kind of stormwater relief from the issues that we have in this area without having a lot of costs or potentially upsetting some of the neighbors. So this was one where we thought we had a voluntary acquisition. We needed to do some improvements because we had a study done on the Fair Meadows Basin, and we believe that this would be a good spot for it.
Sure. All right, thank you. That was all the questions I had for you, Brian.
Okay.
The other
Appreciate
point
it.
I want to make is that the last sentence of this background is that city staff recommends proceeding with the purchase of this property for the construction of on-site stormwater detention with the Ashworth Road reconstruction from 19th to 23rd. We don't know yet that that's going to take place. So that's the other point of contention, is that we're looking at doing this, but we don't know that the widening's even going to take place. So again, in talking with the property owners around them, it's not a good fit. It's a major intersection, and you're going to have basically a big grassy area there that's going to have some maintenance, but it's not going to be looking like a manicured yard that's in the areas now.
So, Brian, just I guess as a follow-up to some of the questions here, is it your take that there could be other locations that could, down the road, fit the needs to address stormwater in the area?
Yes, I believe there could be. The only downside to it is we would have to go out and seek it just for stormwater benefits. That this is one where we thought we maybe could kind of kill two birds with one stone. That's why we recommended it. Others, we definitely can do it, but it's just like the Bridges of Iowa building. An opportunity presented itself. We jumped on it. If opportunities present themselves in this area, in areas where we can do that, a house goes for sale, something like that, we can bring that to the council and talk to them about that at that time. So,
Sure. Well, thank you, Brian. I
You bet.
appreciate that.
Thank you, Brian.
anything else?
Nope.
Okay.
So if I can comment on this, I think at this exact moment in time, I don't think I'm comfortable with the high cost of it, and given uncertainty in the future on what this might be when it comes to Ashworth Road and when it comes to acquisition. So at this point, I'm not supportive of this at the time.
All right, thank you. I think I'd add that, this came before the Public Services Council meeting, I don't know, maybe twice, three times. We certainly looked into it. Brian, I know you and your team put a lot of time and effort into evaluating this issue. I think, the comments up here, the reality is we are doing a trial. right? We are doing a trial there, pilot, whatever we want to call it, evaluation between 1st and 19th. I can appreciate the concern here. If there are other areas down the road, so to speak, that could help address the stormwater, I think we need to look at it. I thank you for bringing this up as an option.
So I'm going to make a motion that we deny this.
Second.
Good.
And I did want to say I do appreciate the creativity of your team, Brian, because I know you're looking at all these different options and you really have a big picture. So I do appreciate that you're doing that for the engineering department. But at this time, I'm a no. So I will second your motion, Kevin.
Okay, we got a motion, we got a second. Any further discussion?
I just want
Oh,
to,
I'm sorry.
Mr. and Mrs. White have, been waiting rather patiently, so would it be safe to assume that they should anticipate that we'll be making an offer anytime soon? I mean, they are kind of
Oh,
judging
we're
on.
not going to. That's to
Well, I know,
deny
but
this.
I understand that, but within the next couple of years, they've been waiting, and so we don't want to keep them on wait, so to speak. So I think it's safe to say that it's not anticipated that we would buy this within the next 5 years. I know you can't say that for sure.
I think
But-
I appreciate you bringing that up, and I do appreciate the situation that the residents have at this time. We certainly, as you know, we can't bind future councils.
Right, but-
And I can't speak to what 1 year, 2 years, 5 years will bring. So I can't speak to that. I'm just telling, at this exact moment, I'm not comfortable with the expense for this.
Right,
That's all
okay.
I can say at this exact moment.
They're kind of trying to plan
I
their
know.
life along with this.
Of course.
So we just kind of want to give them some certainty. So I know you can't bind them, but is it a
Certainty
fair
is that we're not
statement?
buying it.
Yeah.
It's a fair statement to say it's probably not going to be purchased in the next couple of years.
Seems more likely than not.
Yeah, and
Yep.
and certainly as we go through, I mean, we've got a pilot for at least another year, and then we got to evaluate where that's at and where that goes on Ashworth. So I think that's a fair statement.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got a motion, we got a second. Any further discussion? All right, please vote.
And the motion specifically is to
Deny
Deny
it.
it.
to deny. Okay.
Yep.
Three yes.
Okay, move on to item, I think it was 4U.
You had 4H that you were going to pull.
Thank you. Thank you, Kevin. Yes, 4H. Let's go to 4H. See, motion approving change order number 1, digital enterprise conduit deployment segment 5, phase 3. And I'm going to be abstaining from this due to the relationship to the conduit project where I have a conflict.
Well, we'll make the motion to approve 4H.
Second?
Okay, please vote.
We don't have enough.
We're not going to have.
It's not a resolution, so it's a motion.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
2 yes, 1 abstention due to potential conflict of interest. Motion passes.
Okay, we'll go on to 4U2. Greg?
Yep.
Absolutely. As we talk about Juneteenth, today is June 19th, and I just wanted to pull that because since we have a proclamation, I think it would be awesome to read that. And as we know, it's a relatively new holiday, but I think when we talk about history and whatnot, we talk about 4 different moments in American history. People talk about the Emancipation Proclamation issued by Abraham Lincoln in 1863. That freed enslaved peoples in the rebelling states, but that didn't include the border states of Missouri and Delaware and Kentucky and Maryland. And then the 13th Amendment was passed through Congress, through both the House and the Senate in early 1865, but then it had to be ratified by the states, and that would happen later that year. And then eventually Delaware and Kentucky by December of 1865 would be the final states to get rid of slavery altogether. But a couple months before that, on June 19th, 1865, when the Union Army came down to Texas, they informed enslaved peoples there that indeed freedom was upon them. And so when we talk about remembering this holiday where and it should be remembered because as we put the terribleness of slavery and make it constitutionally illegal in 1865, that's what we remember this holiday. So I'm excited to hear Mayor Pro Tem McKinney read the Juneteenth proclamation.
All right, great. Thank you, Greg. I'll go ahead and read our Juneteenth proclamation, Monday, June 19th, 2023. Whereas the city of West Des Moines commemorates Juneteenth, an annual holiday commemorating the end of slavery in the United States. This has been celebrated by many Americans since the late 1800s and has served as a historical milestone, symbolizing our nation's commitment to end slavery and embrace our constitutional decree of freedom and justice for all. And whereas on January 1, 1863, President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation declaring that, quote, all persons held as slaves within the rebellious states are, and henceforward shall be free, end quote. It took more than 2 years before the news reached 250,000 enslaved people living in Texas, when on June 19, 1865, General Gordon Granger and his regiment arrived in Galveston, Texas, to inform the last enslaved people of their freedom. And whereas Juneteenth is the oldest nationally celebrated holiday commemorating the end of slavery, it is an opportunity for us to join our nation in honoring the resiliency, fortitude, and hard-fought freedoms of African Americans. And whereas the City of West Des Moines stands with our African American community in recognizing the historical significance of Juneteenth. On Wednesday, June 21st, at 5:30 p.m., we will host an educational program with the West Des Moines Historical Society on the contributions of African Americans locally and nationally. And therefore, I, Matthew McKinney, Mayor Pro Tem of the City of West Des Moines, Iowa, do hereby declare Monday, June 19th, 2023, as Juneteenth. And I call upon the residents of West Des Moines to celebrate the significance of our shared national history and commitment to justice and freedom. Signed this 19th day of June, 2023. Thank you, Greg, for pulling that. All right.
You still need a motion to approve the proclamation as well.
So moved.
Second.
All right. Please vote.
3 yes.
All right. We also have item 4U3. Let's see. Proclamation, Go Skateboarding Day from June 21st, 2023. And we have a couple of folks here from Skate DSM here to have the proclamation read and presented to them this evening. So we will proceed with reading this, and then we will present them the proclamation and take a photo down below. So, whereas Skateboarding Day was created in 2004 to make skateboarding more accessible and grow local skateboarding communities where youth can come together. And whereas skateboarding is an activity that promotes physical and mental health by getting kids off their screens and outside. Skateboarding promotes social skills and personal interactions at the 20,000 plus skate parks around the world. And whereas skateboarding has made its Olympic debut in the 2022 Tokyo Games, and whereas Des Moines is home to the world-class Lordson Skate Park, the largest open skate park in the United States. Whereas June 21st is the official start of summer and the longest day of the year, and whereas the City of West Des Moines joins the U.S. House of Representatives and the international community in recognizing Go Skateboard Day. And now, therefore, I, Matthew McKinney, Mayor Pro Tem of the City of West Des Moines, Iowa, do hereby proclaim June 21st, 2023 as Go Skateboarding Day in the City of West Des Moines, and I encourage everyone to take advantage of the many benefits of skateboarding by picking up a skateboard and going to skate. Signed this 19th day of June 2023. All right, so if we could have you come up, we'll go down and take a photo and present the proclamation.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Yeah, Matt's going to show us how to use that, right?
Outside as well.
Brian, did we keep a copy here?
Yeah, one of them's for us.
And that's you all. We'll squeeze in here together. Hop in here. Yeah, of course. All right.
There you go.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Yeah, good luck on the 21st. All right, thank you.
Be careful out there, too.
Okay, I think that covers everything on the consent agenda,
We'll just need a motion to approve that proclamation.
So
other
moved.
than approving that. All right, so we got a motion and a second. Please vote.
3 yes.
Okay, we'll go on to old business. And because we only have 3 council members here, we are unable to do what we traditionally are able to do, which is to do the third reading and adopt in final form. So we can only do the second reading on, I think, each one of these items. So move to item 5A. Item 5A is Jordan Ridge, east side of current terminus of South 81st Street, amend the Jordan Ridge Plan Use Development Ordinance to designate and regulate single-family development within the current PUD Parcel B area, Jordan Ridge LLC. This is a ordinance for approval of the second reading. There are no changes from the previous reading. It was approved by a vote of 4-0 during the June 5th council meeting with Councilman Trevelyan absent, and previously by the P&Z with a unanimous vote on May 22nd.
Motion to consider the second reading?
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion? Okay, seeing none, please vote.
Three yes, an ordinance amending the City Code of the City of West Des Moines, Iowa, 2019, and ordinances pertaining to Plan Unit Development, number 136, District Regulations and Guidelines.
Motion to approve the second reading?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Please vote.
3 yes.
Okay, we'll move on to item 5B. This is 7502 Raccoon River Drive. Amend the zoning map to consistency zone to open space zoning GSS Inc. This is approval for the second reading. Again, like that last item, no changes from the previous reading. It was approved during the by a prior meeting, June 5th, a vote of 4-0 with Councilman Trevelyan absent.
Motion to consider the second reading?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Please vote.
3 yes, an ordinance amending the official zoning map of the City of West Des Moines, Iowa, 2019 by amending Title IX zoning, Chapter 4, zoning districts and maps.
Motion to approve the second reading?
Second.
Please vote.
3 yes.
Okay, we'll move on to item 5C. This is ordinance amendment, amend Title IX zoning to modify regulations pertaining to internal department processes and procedures associated with development application submittals and review. This is city initiated. This is approval of the second reading, also approved during the June 5th council meeting. Is there a motion?
Motion to consider the second reading?
Second.
Any further discussion? All right, please vote.
3 yes, an ordinance amending the City Code of the City of West Des Moines, Iowa, 2019, Title IX zoning pertaining to internal submittal and review processes and procedures that are not consistent with Iowa State Code.
Motion to approve the second reading?
Second.
Okay, please vote.
3 yes.
Okay, we'll move on to item 5D. This is amendment number 4 to the Fuller Road Urban Renewal Plan, city initiated.
Motion to consider the second reading?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Please vote.
3 yes, an ordinance amending ordinance numbers 1862 and 1908, providing that general property taxes levied and collected each year on all property located within the amended Fuller Road urban renewal area in the city of West Des Moines be paid to a special fund for payment of principal and interest on loans, monies advanced to, and indebtedness, including bonds issued or to be issued incurred by the city in connection with the amended Fuller Road urban renewal area.
Motion to approve the second reading?
Second.
Okay, please vote.
3 yes.
Okay, we'll move on to item 6, new business, 6A. This is the time and place for a public hearing to consider amendment to City Code Title IX zoning, modify regulations pertaining to single-family detached residential setback regulations initiated by Ted Grobe. Clerk, could you please read the notice, the date the notice was published?
June 7th, 2023, in the Des Moines Register.
And have we received any written comments to this hearing?
The Plan and Zoning Commission, by a vote of 6 yes with 1 absent, adopted a resolution recommending approval of the ordinance amendment.
Okay, now is the time and place for public comment on item 6A. If you have comments, please come to the microphone and give your name and address for the record. And if you are online, *6 to unmute for item 6A for any comments. Seeing, hearing nothing, I declare the public hearing closed, and we have an approval of a first reading of the ordinance amendment.
Motion consider the reading? First reading?
Second.
Okay, any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, please vote.
3 yes, an ordinance amending the city code of the city of West Des Moines, Iowa, 2019, Title IX zoning pertaining to residential, single-family, and single-family residential districts to provide for reduced setback in certain situations.
Motion to approve the first reading.
Second.
Okay, please vote.
3 yes.
Okay, this is item 6B. This is the time and place for a public hearing to consider the agreement for private development initiated by Three Fountains 1 LLC in the city of West Des Moines. Clerk, could you please read the date the notice was published?
June 9th, 2023, in the Des Moines Register.
Okay, and have we received any written comments to this hearing?
None, Your Honor.
Okay, now is the time and place for public comment on item 6B. Please come to the microphone, give your name and address for the record. And for those that are online, star 6 to unmute on item 6B during this opportunity for public comment. Seeing and hearing nothing, we'll declare the public hearing is closed. This is a resolution for approval of a development agreement.
Motion to consider the first reading.
I'll move it only for discussion.
Okay, so we have a motion.
Second, I mean.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Well, so what's going to take place at Three Fountains? Are they going to do a complete remodel, or are they just wanting, I mean, what's going to take place there? Lynn?
I can share some stuff too that came before FNA, but if there was Clyde Evans.
Got Clyde coming up
Yeah,
here.
great.
Yep. Looks like Bryce may have been the lead, but
Yeah, this did
Clyde
come-
will lean on you here.
Yes, this came before Finance and Administration, so we had a discussion about it.
Okay. Clyde Evans, Community Economic Development Director. R&R is proposing to make very substantial improvements to the building. If you've been in that building, it's kind of, for lack of a better term, a cave. So they're opening up the building to get more light into the center part of the building. They also have a major tenant. Right now, the building is totally vacant. So they have a major tenant coming into the building to take about 90,000 square feet of this space. And so part of what they're planning to do is use these monies to help make the necessary tenant improvements to be able to facilitate that prospect going into the building.
So they're wanting a 10-year, 100% rebate. You ever
Correct.
done that before?
Yeah, and if you notice, the valuation on the building has been very depressed because the building has been vacant for a number of years. So they're signing a minimum assessment agreement, substantially increasing the valuation of the building. And so upon completion of the rebates back to the company, then part of the development agreement requires that minimum valuation stay in place for another 10 years. So it's not a situation where they get their incentives. After the incentives end, then they ask to get the valuation of the building reduced. They won't be able to do that.
Kevin, we discussed this, and one of the mitigating factors in this particular 10-year deal, which is more unique than not, right, was the fact that it's in the University Avenue Corridor urban renewal area because of its specific location. If this was outside of that area, I don't think that 10-year would have been considered. However, I think that was our mitigating
It's not
factor.
deteriorate, I mean, it's not falling down around its foundation.
It's
I
not
get
in
that
a-
it's tenant improvement, but this just seems pretty exorbitant.
Well, the building has been vacant for
I
several years.
understand it's been
and they-
vacant,
And they've
but
been,
that doesn't make the building, I understand how the assessor works, that if a commercial building's vacant, then yeah, the value should go down. Doesn't work on other properties, but it does commercial. But it doesn't, I don't know, convince me why this is good.
Well, I think and Kevin, you've done this a ton of times, so I think just when Councilman Lotz and I were discussing it at the Finance Administration Subcommittee, I think we asked those questions, what makes this unique for a 10-year deal? And I think those factors were, first and foremost, we have the University Corridor urban renewal area, which is a rougher situation than we would prefer. So that's the first thing. Second thing, it's been vacant for several years. Third thing, it's decreased by 18% over the last year. And yes, obviously, when it comes to how the county assessor works, all of those caveats given. And then the next part is the fact that the minimum assessed valuation is going to be $11.8 million. So that increase, I think, is a huge factor here. Fourth, it was coupled with an employer. Clyde, what are the numbers of employees coming in with the room for expansion? Can you remind me those?
They're going to be, without them being able to make these improvements to the building, they would not have been able to get the prospect. And so the prospect's going to be taking down at least 90,000 square feet of the building, and they're going to be bringing 400 jobs to the site that weren't in West Des Moines previously. In fact, the company is consolidating operations from other parts of the country, and they're actually going to be moving employees from other parts of the country, particularly California, to this location. So R&R felt that if they weren't able to get this type of assistance, they weren't going to be able to attract this tenant to the building.
So they want 100% rebate. So does this work the same as a TIF, that we still get the value of what it is today?
Yes.
And how much is that?
Correct. The building right now, I think, has a value of, like, it's in the report, I think like 5.9, 5.8. So we still get the taxes on that. It's the increase in, when you do these rebates, it's
only
the
on-
increase in valuation above a base level to a new level. And then it's the taxes on that. And any bonded indebtedness that the taxing entities have, such as school district, county, city, whatever, that comes off the top. So you're only collecting then that, what I'll call the TIF rate, on the increase in valuation. So that's what they're going to be able to access.
Have we done a 10-year 100% anywhere else in the city?
Yes.
Where at?
Bel Air, we did for Bix and Company. I think there's like one other, I can't recall right off the top of my head, though.
All right.
So those were the four reasons that we had discussed in finance administration. And you're absolutely right, it is not as common. And if it was outside that university corridor urban renewal area, I would certainly be a little bit more wary about it. But because of that area, I don't like to use the word blighted because things in West Des Moines are still really nice.
This
However,
isn't a blighted area, but, okay.
I
So-
would comment, I remember the fourth one, that was Salmons.
Yeah,
So-
I think we got an economic development opportunity here, 400-plus jobs, a new company to the city of West Des Moines, a lot of folks coming from outside the state of Iowa moving here. You got, particularly right now, there's so many questions about office space. We read even in the metro here what's happening in office space, and thankfully we've got an office building here that, we're at 90,000 square feet that we're able to help occupy. So,
All right.
okay, so we got a motion and a second. Please vote.
Three yes.
and thank you for the discussion, Kevin. I thought it was really rewarding. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to item 6C. This is a time and place for public hearing to consider the agreement for private development initiated by Steffes Holdings LLC. Ryan, could you please read the date the notice was published?
June 9th, 2023 in the Des Moines Register.
Okay, and have we received any written comments to the hearing?
None, Your Honor.
Okay, now's a time and place for the audience to please come to the microphone if you have any comments on item 6C. Those online, star 6 to unmute for item 6C. Okay, seeing and hearing nobody, we'll declare the public hearing closed. This is a resolution for the approval of a development agreement. And this went through, it looks like, the Finance Administration City Council Subcommittee recommending adoption of the resolution.
Motion consider the first reading? Or,
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, a second. Any further discussion? Okay, please vote.
Three yes.
All right, item 6D. This is the time and place for a public hearing to consider the Community Development Block Grant Program 2023-24 Annual Action Plan initiated by the City of West Des Moines. Ryan, would you please read the date the notice was published?
June 9th, 2023, in the Des Moines Register.
Okay, and have we received any written comments to the hearing?
None, Your Honor.
Okay, now is the time for public comment on item 6D. Please come to the microphone and give your name and address for the record. For those that are online, star 6 to unmute. Okay, seeing and hearing nobody, we'll go ahead and declare the public hearing is closed. Item 6D. This is an item I believe went through Finance Administration and was approved unanimously.
Motion for approval?
Second.
Any further discussion on item 6D?
Yeah, certainly. When we talk about the Community Development Block Grant Annual Action Plan, I know Christine and the team inside of Clyde Evans' department, I know they work incredibly hard to create an action plan because since we are allocated these monies, it's important to, spend them in an appropriate way that's going to make a difference. So looking over this plan, it's I would say it's a very, very good plan, and I'm looking forward to see it implemented over the years. So I just want to thank you for your hard work, Christine. Really appreciate it.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Greg. Well said. Okay, motion is second. Any further discussion? All right, please vote.
3 yes.
Okay, let's move on to item 6E. This is a time and place for a public hearing to consider the High Street Storm Sewer Improvements initiated by the City of West Des Moines. Ryan, could you please read the date the notice was published?
June 2nd, 2023, in the Des Moines Register.
And have we received any written comments to this hearing?
None, Your Honor.
Okay, now's the time and place for folks to come up to the microphone, provide comment on item 6E. Please give your name and address for the record. Okay, anybody online? Same deal as before, item 6E, and it's star 6 to unmute. All right, we'll declare the public hearing closed. We have 2 resolutions and a motion. The first resolution is to approve of site plans and specifications. The motion is to receive and file reported bids. And third resolution here is to award the contract. I think we can take these all as one.
Yes, we can.
Motion to approve?
You're not going to like, I think, you're not going to like the outcome.
Well, I know we have kind of a unique situation in terms of how procedurally we go through this, Dick.
I was going to suggest, I know Councilmember Trevelyan is not in favor of this. It would be possible if he wanted to defer this with a vote of 3 and.
That was going to be my motion, but we've already got a motion on the floor.
But we don't have a second, so it could die, and I'd be fine with that.
Okay, I'm going to move that this gets deferred unless you want this to die.
Okay,
If you move for deferral, I will second that.
okay, so when do we defer to?
Yeah, I'm sorry, maybe we just continue it for 2 weeks.
Yes.
It's been noticed. so-
Okay. So we have a motion to continue this until the next council meeting. Is that fair? I think it's July 5th.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All right, please vote.
Thank you, Councilman Trevelyan. I appreciate that.
Problem.
3 yes.
All right, let's see, we'll move on to item 7. Item 7A is South 11th Street Warehouse, 225 South 11th Street. Approve the site plan to allow construction of a 31,670 square foot warehouse building, Steffes Holding LLC. This is a resolution for approval of a site plan and acceptance of deed for right-of-way. Is there a
For
motion?
approval.
Second.
Okay, is there any further discussion on item 7A? Okay, please vote.
Three yes.
All right, item 7B, ordinance amend Title II, boards and commissions to allow for a youth ex officio non-voting member to serve on the Human Rights Commission. This is an ordinance for approval of the first reading of the ordinance amendment. Is there a motion?
Really quick question. Ryan, maybe
Actually,
you-
we need a motion second in order to discuss it.
Okay,
I'll make a motion for approval
sure. Second.
because I've got discussion too. Go ahead.
Go. Please.
So when it comes to this particular ordinance amendment about the Human Rights Commission adding a youth ex officio member, I am quite supportive of it. I think it's a good idea. However, I wanted to see if we could amend and add one word to it. And it is in letter C, section 2, letter C. And in letter C, it says, "The commission shall annually elect one of its members to be chairperson." I think we should add one word, voting members, just to make it explicit that the chairperson role is not going to be one of these
Officio.
ex officio members. So I wanted to make that change. So
Sure.
I would want to add that as an amendment to this, to add the one word voting. The commission shall elect one of its voting members in letter C. Does that make sense? So,
And Councilman Trevilian made the motion,
Yeah, I'll
so as
make
long
a-
as he's.
Yes, I'll make
willing
the, add that to the motion that gets added. I think that's a good point.
sure.
Yep.
Small thing, but just to confirm, because I think that's what we intend by that.
Absolutely. And this came through F&A, Finance Administration, on
Yep.
June 7th.
We did. We talked about it last week, and thanks to Audrey Kennis for putting this together. I think this is going to be nice to have a student from West Des Moines. I also appreciate this because certainly when we think about West Des Moines, we think about West Des Moines Valley High School, which of course so many West Des Moines students go to, but west of 60th Street, half of the students at Waukee High School are West Des Moines residents, and so this would be an opportunity for them to get involved as well, and certainly apply and see if they could be a part of this as well. So it's a citywide effort for any West Des Moines resident, so I'm certainly supportive of it, and so thank you for those who created this.
And Audrey's not here, so maybe you can address this.
Yes, sir.
How are they going to come up with the recruitment for this, and how are they selected? I mean, obviously, they're going to have to apply for the position, but this says resides in West Des Moines and is a current student. It doesn't say in West Des Moines school, so we're looking at, 3 or 4 different schools they could come. How do we get the word out to all of those students, and I guess homeschooled students too, to let them know that this one seat is going to be available? And then how do we make the decision to pick that person?
Okay, do we have Audrey on the
Yes,
line?
words from above.
Hello, Councilman Trevilian. Audrey Kennis, Director of DEI, here with you all. So yes, that is a great question. It is designed to be open to students who live within West Des Moines boundaries, so it is not exclusive just to West Des Moines Community Schools or Valley or any other high
Yep.
schools, but we're trying to be as accessible and inclusive as possible. We have not gotten to the point of really our intentional recruitment initiative, but we have developed an application that will be separate from the general boards and commissions application. So it's defined for a student, and we will be putting out a blast to all the school districts. And so that is our goal, but that will also be in conjunction with the Human Rights Commission. So they're working through that with one of their committees to ensure that we are trying to broadly broadcast this out.
Okay, and so what's going to be the process then for, I guess, picking this one person? Because I know right now, somebody applies to, planning and zoning, the mayor gets it and makes the recommendation, and council affirms that. So is this going to be the same way? Or, because I envision a lot more people than 1 or 2 applying for this, as
Yeah,
mostly happens with the other commissions.
Nope, that's a great question, and it would be similar to what we do currently. So yes, students will be encouraged to apply. We will review the applications and make recommendations to the mayor. So it's as similar as our boards and commissions process now. And so when we look at applicants, we take lots of variables into account. We also ask that they write a summary detailing what they can bring to the commission. And so hopefully a youth will be able to speak strongly to what impact they can bring and what voice they will be able to lend to the commission.
Okay, that's good. I think we do need some kind of a I don't know, essay type thing that says why, in a sense, why should you be selected for this position? And then I guess one last, okay, so I see here it's from July 1, so that's in 2 weeks?
Yes, so we're going to try, as long as this is approved, well, and I should say not 2 weeks, because we have to go through the
I was gonna
second
s-
reading. So not yet, but that would be the annual timeframe.
So
it's
when are you
still gonna-
looking to bring this first seat on? I would hope it's not going to be even August 1st. I think this is something new that nobody is even aware that, I guess we're even thinking about this, let alone are going to have it. I assume it's going to pass, okay? So we need to really advertise that we're doing this. So I would think we would have at least probably a 60-day out there for them to apply for it to then be selected.
Okay, yes, and so, to be, the timeline, we haven't gotten to the exact launch date, so that's a great suggestion. And I'll bring that back to the Human Rights Commission. But once we go through the second reading, which hopefully would happen in July, and once that's, again, approved, our hope is that we can start pushing this out around the beginning of the academic school year. I anticipate September, but I can't say definitively if that's what the council, the commission will decide.
Okay.
But that's the timeline. So after this first year, generally it'll be on a annual school calendar, just to allow students to kind of start and end with the academic calendar.
Well, is this I'm not saying that they're going to do this. I just don't want anybody to think that this was created for somebody in particular, and so 2 weeks after the applications open up, then, oh, now we've got the person selected. I guess personally, I don't know where you guys are at, I think I would like to put that amendment in here that we say it 60 days after, to advertise the position, and then the council meeting following that, or however we want to word that, but I think we need 60 days to advertise that this is even out there. Because you got a lot of students from 9th to 12th grade that live in West Des Moines. So again, we need to make sure that people are aware that we've got this.
So, Councilman, I don't disagree. I think it is important that we get the word out there. I think procedurally, the things that are in here, I think have generally been, address a lot of the questions you've got or had in terms of, appointed by the mayor, approval by the city council, taking into consideration, racial, religious, cultural, and social groups and geographic areas within the city insofar as maybe a lot of that stuff, right? But what's not in here is what you're talking about is kind of the process.
The first time, I
Yeah.
get the fact that July 1, but we know it's not going to happen this July 1. So I think we need to have this.
That's what I'm wondering.
Direction to implement it with at least 60 days.
Is it because what we have before us is an approval of the amendment to an ordinance, and we don't want to put that in the ordinance, I
Right,
don't
it's
think.
more process, as you say, Councilman.
And I
So-
agree with you, Kevin, wholeheartedly. I think we need to get time because we have so many schools, because there's Dowling students, there's Des Moines Christian students, there are Waukee students, there's Madison County, there's Warren County, so many different schools.
Homeschooled?
Homeschooled as
there's-
well.
Yeah.
The word has to be gotten out, and 60 days seems at least the amount of time we would need.
Right.
So I don't know if we need to bake into the ordinance, but we will absolutely, I support your idea to give council direction. We have to make sure the word gets out, and to the idea that if it's like one specific person, ultimately it's up to Mayor Trumbull, who will get to select that person in similar.
Actually, us, because we affirmed the appointment.
Well, yeah, also
Yes.
true. He will get to select and approved by us, of course. So ultimately, it'll serve as the same as the other commissions, which was the
Right.
goal.
Right.
So I think,
I love this idea.
Yeah.
but we just need to make sure we get the
I just wanna
logistics
make-
correct, yeah.
Okay, so, and obviously, school's not in session, so it's going to be harder to get the word out. If we
For
look
now.
at that September timeframe, we can, hopefully leverage the ability of, folks being back in school to further
Right.
spread the word. So what we have before us here is approval, consideration of this amendment with, I believe, your amendment, Greg, about a voting member, and then council direction to
Minimum of 60 days.
minimum of
to
60 days to
take
bring forward a name.
applications. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, to take applications for 60 days, minimum 60
Absolutely.
days, and then review them. Yes.
Okay. All right. Ryan, are we on the same page here? We got clarity in the minutes as to what,
Yes, yep,
okay.
we're good.
Okay, so we've got a motion, we've got great discussion. Anything else? All right, please vote.
3 yes, an ordinance amending the city code of the city of West Des Moines, Iowa, 2019 by amending Title II Boards and Commissions, Chapter 9, Human Rights Commission for the purpose of adding a youth ex officio non-voting member.
Approval.
Second.
Okay, please vote.
Three yes.
Okay, we'll move on to item 7C, new business. Let's see, this is a first reading of a proposed ordinance, Title IV, Health and Safety Regulations, Chapter 5C, Solid Waste Control, modification of fees and charges. This is, again, an item that's gone through the F&A, Finance and Administration Subcommittee on June 7th.
Motion to consider the first reading.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Seeing none, please vote.
3 yes, an ordinance amending the city code of the city of West Des Moines, Iowa by amending Title IV, Health and Safety Regulations, Chapter 5, Article C pertaining to solid waste collection charges.
Move to approve the first reading.
Second.
Okay, please vote.
Three yes.
I think that was for the prior,
Yeah, this,
that didn't light up.
Didn't light up for us.
now it
Oh,
is.
okay.
Now there
There we
it
go.
is.
All right. 3 yes.
Okay, item 8, receive, file, refers. One item will receive, file, and refer. I don't have that in front of me here, Ryan, do I?
There is no items for this, so.
Oh, okay. Well, makes it easy. Other matters, item 9. Any other matters the council wish to address or raise this evening? Sure, please. Normally, we do it during public comment, but happy to hear what's on your mind.
I appreciate you giving me this opportunity.
Of course.
I didn't think of it at public comment time.
Yep. If
I
you just
want-
state your name and address for the record.
Dr. Vicki Longhill, 136 10th Street, West Des Moines Valley Junction. I just, of course, thank the Mayor Pro Tem as well as all city council persons for the proclamation in honoring of the Juneteenth celebration. And I'm just wondering, will there be a photo opportunity? I know DEI director is not present, or I know the police department, I believe, has a DEI person too. But I would just ask that the city, maybe at the next meeting, or do a picture, a
Yeah.
photo.
Hey, well, we can do a photo,
Right
we
now.
can do a photo now, and then also, I believe, part of this educational program with the West Des Moines Historical Society on June 21st, and we can certainly look at it for that.
We could do it then, because proclamation will be read again at that time.
Yeah,
I think that's an excellent time to do it as well.
so I don't know if the mayor's going to be there on the 21st. Do you know, Ryan?
I don't think so.
Okay.
That's-
Well, why don't we do a photo now, okay? And then, is Audrey here?
No,
She's on the phone.
I'm online, sorry.
she's online.
Like in the building online or away?
No,
Oh,
I'm at home.
I would ask that she make a recommendation and we go with that. Because
Yeah.
I'm absolutely, comfortable. I have no problem
think your
with
suggestion
it being
Wednesday's
at the,
perfect.
my concern about that, Kevin, is I don't know who may or may not be there on the 21st.
Okay.
Audrey, what is your recommendation or thought, may I ask?
If it's okay, I think it would be appropriate to take the picture today with you all there.
Yeah.
And again, having the council members there and you, Dr. Vicki, I think it is most fitting. And it's, again, Juneteenth, so it's the right day and time.
Okay.
Easy enough. Sounds great. Thank you, Audrey.
Thank you.
We'll do that. Any other comments?
Did you have something, Jamie, to? Oh,
Okay. All right, well, let's get down
And
here.
if there's anyone who would like to be a part of this picture, let's
please.
the more the merrier for this particular photo. So yes, by all means.
Absolutely.
Someone else wants to join in? Tom Haddon, you got to get in.
Don't let it just be African Americans.
Thanks for coming through. Absolutely.
Wide angle on this one. Short people in front. Come on.
Hello, ma'am. Who's firm goes that way. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Okay, one more. Thank you. Okay.
Hey, Ryan, do we need 2 copies? Or can I get one that could help?
No, one can be given to her. You want me to attest the signature?
I don't think I did that. Escape was.
No, I signed them. I did not, because I do. I didn't know this would be presented. You want to give that to her, then I'll take the other one.
Well,
Yep, let's give it to you.
okay. Any other items that anybody wants to raise tonight? Okay, we're adjourned. Thank
Way to
you.
go, Mayor Pro Tem.